was a great deal, and doing field was a next level challenge and learning to itself. So I named my activity as CAC for all. So if any of you have missed about my pitching last time, then I decided to provide a CAC session to the children studying in the schools of an rural area, inside the valley itself, but it is a little far away from access to all the services, uh, even the basic needs. So yeah. So moving forward, my main goal was to provide a safe space to the girls and to other kids and children and young ones for learning and sharings, and also to create a level of awareness among the adolescent and sensitize as far as from my level, not more, to the stakeholder engaged in the government school of Nepal, as the school administration, school management, and if possible the local stakeholder as well, to for making an adolescent friendly environment in the school. So moving on forward, so talking about my journey, firstly I reached out to the stakeholders of the government school with the help of the FCHV volunteers. FCHV volunteers had been working in the areas, in the communities since long time, and I knew one of the FCHBs working in that same area. After talking with her, she suggested me few schools to visit and talk with the school management. So I visited two schools as per her suggestion. One of the school management team was not so much interested on the session, and I visited the next school, and I pitched my idea well about what type of sessions I will become covering, what type of knowledge will their students will be acquiring, and they granted me the access to held this session in their school. So in this school, I provided this session on good touch and bad touch, uh, a simply difference between sex and gender, sexual orientation, and I also covered a little bit, only a little bit of gender-based violence, because I didn't wanted to create a scene where that because since it is an rural area and marginalized school, it is really hard to find some people of the same mindset that I had at the moment, and they might say after giving that certain, like someone came from such a part of an organization of our project or anything, and she taught our student like that and had a bad reputation. So I just created a small space to discuss about what does a violence look like, and have they and any of the students has some similar stories or like that. And then as an future plan, this was not included in my action plan, and during my school I just decided that if we could form a child club in that school, and they will be flowing this information from one batch to another batch, then this might be a sustainable way. uh, so I created a child club, and I have appointed four students to look after the child club and create sessions every Friday, and even encourage the creativity learning as well. And I have been following up them every Friday early in the morning through phone calls to the school administration as well as the one of the students. So yeah, moving on further, uh, some of the feedbacks I received after my session was like, teachers suggested me that it would have been better if you had created a teachers feedback form, so that we could recommend you and provide feedbacks to your session, even through written as well. So it will be important for you to get the statics of your progress and of your various ways of presenting and giving the flow of session. And students, as I provided the session, after the session students really wanted me to provide them with materials for the further learning. So if they had an internet access even in the school, then it would have been easier for me to provide them. But however, they didn't had any smart technologies to visit the YouTubes and other websites, and even they are quite smaller and teens to be actively using on the social media as well. So to provide them hand copy uh, during the session, like that that had been a challenge, or that had been a difficulty that I have must have thought before or during my plan of actions. And so some of the outcomes of my session that I felt immediately after the providing the session, talking with the teachers during pitching my ideas and talking about this session, was like students were able to gain that grasp, that information that I was trying to pass on to them uh, at the end of the session by doing some artwork presentation among their fellow friends. And as the students were pitching their presentation among the groups, the teachers were also present there, and teachers really appreciated and acknowledged that fact that it is they felt the need of adults and friendly environment, and wanted to learn more about the how does the adults and friendly environment look like, and what are the facilities that governments is providing to make an adults and friendly environment in the schools. So that was the one of the best outcome that I felt immediately after providing the session. So the long term outcomes that I have accepted is that I have provided the information regarding the various local level, national level competitions, clubs, where the students of their school can grab the platform to share their ideas, work on their poetries, their art regarding the that I had provided them in session. So yeah, moving on further. So the major learnings while my planning and while visiting the community was the various cultural practices and beliefs they had. Like, it was so new to me. Even the area was quite not so far from the valley, which is quite developed, and they do practice all diverse cultures, practices that differs from caste to caste, and race to race. So I had a great time exploring their cultural practices and beliefs, and I also had an opportunity to meet the diverse background of people, learn from them, hear from them. And hearing their stories was some of them were traumatizing itself, but that gave me a life lesson that it is all about learning, and how can I actually help them from my level and grant them the information. So talking about the major highlights that I had during my session was like, firstly, working with students is always fun. And after giving these sessions, at the end, a group of our students, all of them were girls, and they come to me and they invited me to their house to have dinner with them. And they drew their location to their house in a small paper, and that was really a great moment for me, because they considered me beyond a teacher, beyond a instructor. And while I was returning from that place, teachers and even the FCHB volunteers that I have communicated with, and the students themselves came to me and they wanted to learn more about the family planning devices, about the abortion, and even the small queries like about rape, about the consent laws in Nepal. So that was really a mesmerizing moment for me. That these are some of the good highlights, and another highlights that was really a traumatizing for me, like that while an experience sharing. Um, I created a space, as they mentioned that they wanted a separate group for girls and they wanted a separate group for boys. So this moment happened in the while I was giving session to grade 8 and 9. So while we were talking about violence, abuse, and they were raising the questions, and one of these students said me that uh, she was sexually abused by her own father when she was grade 7. So she came to knew that was an abuse just after that I explained her about good touch and bad touch, what does consent look like, and what does sexual abuse look like during the discussion. So that was that and she even shared me that it would have been great that if we had received this session before that time, so that we would have realized, and I would have taken actions. I would have shared to my parents, my mother, sisters, like that. But that is a good moment for me, that my session helped them to realize that what they have went through. And that moment I realized that those moments when you don't know about anything, even how good touch and bad touch, about the various form of violence, that creates to a long term impact for them, as she has now realized that a traumatizing event had happened her in the past back 2 years. She might be mentally unwell, and I have tried my best uh, to reach out to her by providing the toll free numbers if such events happen to me. And even I requested her to, if she wants to speak with any of her family members or whom she really trusts, and even if she want to file a case, anything like that. But uh, but uh, as uh, as she always had that fear that the various social norms they had in the society won't let her live peacefully in her upcoming life. So I didn't insisted on that, and I have provided her my personal numbers, and she keeps on calling me sometimes. And I have been helping her out on the future plans for her future studies, for her careers as well. So that has been a bad, but that has been a one of the moment that has struck on my head so hard. And these are the most highlighting moments for me. And I wanted to share the story of her, but in an anonymous character in my report maybe. And I, as she is under 18, I even that she has provided me consent, but she is under 18. So even she is providing that consent, that doesn't mean she has provided her consent just because she's under 18. And we need to take consent of our parents. I have talk to her that I will let her story out, but in an anonymous character, that nothing about her, the place, about her identity or anything, even her age won't be revealed, and she has provided me consent for that. So talking about the major challenges was firstly communicating with the teachers and school management was really hard, because whenever we talk about giving this session on CSE, they always think that we are promoting any sort of activities, teaching their children to get involved in the sexual activities. So it was firstly in the beginning it was hard for me, but as I knew the female community volunteers, health volunteers, so she also helped me to talk with the teachers, and they agreed willly for this session. So before I was from a different place, visiting their school for the first time. It was hard for me to interact with students. Even it was hard for me to even get a one response in the beginning, but I I went beyond the classrooms. Even during the lunch break, I used to talk with them. I used to play with them, and I started rapport building, and that helped me a lot. And as this is the time of the new academic year of the schools and colleges, and even the local elections in the whole country was being held, it was really hard for me to go on a smooth run for the session as I planned. But however, I completed my planned session in a well balanced way. So moving on further, these are the few pictures. So another challenge I really felt was that as I was working in school, I was alone. So it was really hard for me to uh, collect the responses on time, and provide the logistics on time, help each and every group in the same way, and take more photos. And but however, I gave my best in my level that I could. uh, so yeah, this is overall the part of my action plan. And I really think that I was able to meet my goals. And even I hope that the knowledge and the level of awareness I provided to them will take away in future in a better way. Yeah, thank you.